Most gardeners waste hundreds of dollars on worms, castings, and compost, and still wonder why their soil doesn't improve. The shocking truth is that it's not your soil that's failing, it's how you introduce worms. If you skip this simple clay-slurry trick, you're basically setting your worms up to fail before they even touch your soil. Here's what happens. You buy worms, toss them in your garden or raised bed and give them scraps. You wait. Days pass, maybe weeks. Some worms disappear, some survive, but the population never explodes and your soil never reaches its full potential. Weak roots, inconsistent growth, and slow nutrient cycling are all symptoms of a failed start. Worms are highly sensitive to sudden changes in moisture, soil texture, and microbial life. When they enter an unfamiliar environment without preparation, they go dormant or die quietly underground. You don't see it, but your garden does. This is why buying worms repeatedly doesn't solve the problem, it only masks it. And there's one tool that can help prevent a huge early-stage mistake. A 4-litre electric composter for kitchen, smart countertop compost bin. This isn't a gimmick. It solves a very real problem in early worm introduction. Raw food scraps often heat up unevenly, go anaerobic, or produce odors that stress worms. A small composter produces a consistent, fully processed material that worms can safely eat immediately. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. Once I started coating worms in a simple clay-slurry mix before introducing them to the garden, I noticed a dramatic difference. Worms not only survived, they thrived. Why? Clay works as a moisture buffer, nutrient carrier, and microbial bridge. It essentially creates a protective layer that helps worms adjust to new soil conditions, stabilizes the microbial environment, and kickstarts feeding and reproduction. Without this step, worms face shock, which slows reproduction and prevents the population from multiplying. With the clay slurry, they hit the ground running. Here's what works in practice. Use real clay soil. Topsoil alone is often too loose. Mix clay with water until it reaches a smooth, thick pancake batter consistency. Then add a small portion of finished compost or existing worm castings to introduce beneficial microbes. The ratio I've found works consistently is roughly 3 parts clay to 1 part compost, adjusting with water until the mixture coats easily. Now, don't rush this next step. Place your worms in the slurry for 5 to 10 minutes. During this time, they move naturally, coating themselves evenly. This layer isn't just cosmetic, it's functional. Microbes attach to the clay, moisture is retained, and the worms are protected from abrupt environmental changes. Then, place them directly into your garden, raised bed, or container. Don't rinse them. That protective coating is critical for the first few days. Why the timing of the first week matters more than you think. Even with a perfect clay coating, many gardeners sabotage the process by feeding improperly during the first week. Adding fresh, high-moisture scraps that heat up or partially decomposed food can create anaerobic pockets worms avoid. Instead, offer pre-composted, stable material, the kind you get from a small electric composter. This ensures worms remain active, feed consistently, and start reproducing. Active worms mean exponential growth. Dormant worms, on the other hand, lead to stagnant soil. Let's talk about some practical examples across different garden setups. In raised beds with mixed soil, dipping worms in the clay slurry doubled activity and castings within 2 weeks compared to introducing them dry. In containers and grow bags, which fluctuate in moisture quickly, survival rates increased by over 70%. I've even tested this in hydroponic hybrid systems. Worms introduced without the slurry fail fast, but with the coating, they survive and contribute nutrients effectively. Now, let's address some common advice that really doesn't work. Here's a popular saying you've probably heard: build it, and worms will come. In real gardening conditions, that's misleading. In nature, sure, worms move in over time, but in managed systems like raised beds, containers, or even controlled hydro-organic setups, worms need intentional help to establish. Passive methods often result in slow, inconsistent populations. The clay slurry is that intentional help. So let's talk about the feeding strategy for rapid population growth. During the first week, you want to feed your worms with soft, partially broken down material that won't heat up or create those nasty anaerobic zones. Once they're settled, just gradually increase the feeding amounts. Pair this with consistent moisture, and if you're in a hot climate, give them a bit of occasional shade. These small, practical steps really help prevent early die-off and encourage reproduction. By week 3, you'll start to see cocoons forming. By week 4 or 5, you'll notice fresh castings appearing right on the soil surface, which is a clear signal that your worm population is expanding. And honestly, this is the point where you can stop thinking about buying more worms. The system is now self-sustaining. Now, why does this method transform your garden for the long term? Well, once your worm populations stabilize, your soil just starts to improve naturally. Water retention becomes more balanced, root systems grow deeper, nutrient cycling speeds up, and organic matter breaks down faster. You're not just relying on outside inputs anymore, your garden is producing fertility all on its own. And here's a tip that a lot of gardeners overlook. Clay-slurry treated worms actually help improve soil structure much faster. Their tunnels create aeration channels and pathways for water to seep in, which reduces compaction and supports stronger, healthier plants. There's a real compounding effect when you combine a composter with the clay-slurry method. Using a small countertop composter ensures you have consistent, worm-safe inputs, while the clay coating helps worms establish quickly and safely. When you put these together, they dramatically cut down early die-off, speed up population growth, and improve your soil structure and fertility way faster than conventional methods. So just to wrap things up and give you a bit of a call to action, if you've been buying worms over and over, or you're struggling to see real improvement in your soil, start by focusing on the introduction process. The clay-slurry trick is honestly simple, low cost, and super effective. Combine it with steady, consistent feeding, ideally with a smart electric composter, and your worm populations will multiply naturally. This approach isn't just about worms, it's about building a living, self-sustaining garden system. Healthy soil, active biology, and steady nutrient cycling will take your garden way beyond what compost or castings alone can do. If you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe to FamLogic for more practical, experience-driven gardening strategies. Share this with any gardeners you know who keep buying worms without seeing results. It could seriously change how they manage their soil. And don't forget to check the description for the exact electric composter I use. It's what makes the difference between messy scraps and consistent worm-friendly food. Remember, your soil is a living system. Support it the right way, and it'll reward you with healthier plants, higher yields, and sustainable fertility for years to come.